Party says it has a council of leaders instead of one person being at the helm. It will contest next year's local government elections in South Africa, and the party, which is the merger between, as you heard, Build One South Africa, the Good Party, and RiseAndShine, was launched in Johannesburg yesterday. We're joined now in studio by Mmusi Maimane, who is leader of the Build One South Africa and member of the National Assembly in the country. Honourable member, how are you this morning?
Good morning, and good morning to fellow Africans. It's great to be here.
Thank you for joining us, and
Yeah.
we appreciate your time. So what inspired this coalition? Let's start there. The merger between Build One South Africa, BOSA, Good Party, and Rise Mzansi.
Firstly, I think all of us as South Africans are feeling the imminent sense upon which our councils, our towns, our streets are not working like they used to, or not working well at all. More people are saying we're running out of water. We're feeling like infrastructure maintenance is falling apart. We can't find work. And so we need change. And South Africa can only change when two things happen. The first is it must be governed differently, and it must be governed by different people. And so the governing differently part says to us, this was an inspired move to say at local government, the issues are not ideological. They're really about delivery of basic services. They're really about economic revitalization. And so let's build a platform upon which citizens who share those, which the majority of citizens share those, can be able to endorse, vote for something that they can bring. The second is governed by different people, which when we looked at the electoral prospects and how the local government works, if you sit in a ward, it's no use having a candidate from 10 different parties, because at the end of the day, someone with even doesn't get 50%, they just get the most votes, can win that ward. And the difficulty is that whereas all the other parties, had they been working together, could achieve change. So we're saying, let's make it possible for more people to be elected, but let's go out and select the best candidates, ethical candidates. Let's ensure that we can broaden to a broader aspect of society so that more people can participate. So for me, it is inspired by the moment we live in the country and the desperate need for change that we feel.
So some of the parties, the political parties under the Unite for Change, are part of the government of national unity. Is the Unite for Change in opposition to the current government in South Africa?
The existential question of South Africa, even if you are a subscriber to the government of national unity, is who is going to be the government in our cities. That's an existential question. The reality is that local government has had a number of years of being governed by the same people, and the outcomes are what we're feeling. So even if there's a party inside the GNU, it would agree that for Johannesburg to be governed the way it is, it's going through a rotation of mayors, coalitions that no one understands, people who promised that they weren't going to work with so-and-so, now suddenly after the election say they will work with them. What we're saying now is that let's give you a pre-coalition so that you know it up front. Secondly, what we're saying is that GNU or no GNU, this will be a referendum on the GNU. Let the people test it out. And furthermore, I honestly believe there's a need for change. I really believe that if we answer the question correctly in 2026, the next question will be who is going to be the government in 2029? And we need a different government. We simply cannot sit here and say doing more of the same will achieve different outcomes, because the GNU has been more of the same. Let's be honest with ourselves, because the outcomes are the same.
Talk to us about the promise of one name, one platform, one purpose under the Unite for Change party.
I mean, its starting orientation is to say, can we go out and, first of all, across towns and municipalities in our country, identify the best candidates. Those candidates will sit under one list, which is the Unite for Change. So BOSA will, whatever the BOSA candidates are in their communities who are brilliant, they can apply and they can be part of the Unite for Change. And it'll be the same for Good, it'll be the same for Rise Mzansi. That's the first thing. The second thing is they'll have a shared manifesto, a shared promise to the people, and a shared contract with the people. And I think the contractual bits are important, because when you serve in a municipality or in a town, you are contracted to those voters, so that when those voters say you are not doing what you're supposed to do, they must take you out, and we will facilitate that process. And then the last point is that it'll be a shared campaign, and the 3 different leaders will scour the country. It multiplies the efforts, it multiplies the fundraising possibilities, but it also delivers on the prospect of going, how do we achieve that this platform becomes the one that holds the councillors post the elections that will sit under this one entity. The 3 different parties remain. BOSA will remain, RISE will remain, GOOD will remain, as there will be many civil society organizations and other parties joining. They will remain all the way until 2029. This is an opportunity for this exercise to be able to say, let's put something on the ballot, on the local ballot that works.
As part of the party's roadmap to the 2026 local government elections, what would you say is the type of collective action that is needed to transform our local municipalities?
Yeah, fundamentally, it says one, when we respond to public service, at one level we stand for public office, but on another level, people have got ideas. I may have a PhD in economics, but that doesn't mean that I have all the ideas. Mayor DeLille, or Patricia DeLille, Minister DeLille, has been a mayor, and so she would understand governance components. Songezo has been in business. There may be other South Africans who understand spatial planning, who understand climate issues, who understand all of those. Let them come and share their ideas. That's an important component. Moving on from that, we're saying in components of how do we elect and select the most ethical, those who are standing, the nomination regulation wants to weed out and attract the best, because professionals are sitting in private sector. They want to serve their country, but the current political infrastructure doesn't allow them to. And when we set out BOSA, actually, in many ways, we wanted to be attractive to people who weren't in politics. And fortunately, the public representatives that we have, this was their first time in politics. And so they were able to introduce a different component. Let's expand that opportunity to more people. Politics is far more important to be left up to politicians. So let's work hard at bringing about a new change. Yeah?
So other political parties can join Unity for Change as well as civil society groups.
Correct. We are engaging them as we speak right now. Many of them are obviously consulting with their structures before obviously by the end of the year, some of them have got conferences, etc. That work will continue. But this is just the start. It's like the 3 parties who got together and say, okay, we'll put the foundation on the table, but more people must come on. And I'm excited because this is an invitation, and I want to make it categorically clear that just the 3 parties is an insufficient threshold to be able to achieve the seismic change that we want. Change requires that even faith-based organizations in this country, civil society, they must all come together to be able to work towards that change.
So while there are, of course, notable opportunities with this collaboration, the 3 parties have been operating separately until this point. So what kind of challenges do you foresee as rising from that? And what have you put in place to be able to tackle those challenges should they arise?
The National Leadership Council, as at this point, will sit together and be able to deal with any disputes that arise that surpass the National Management Committee, which includes the chairpersons of the respective parties, and will open up seats for more parties to participate. And then we've got a professional staff management team that does the execution of the day-to-day running of the organization. So effectively, when there are disputes, they will be able to be escalated in that manner, and ultimately through a consensus generating mechanism, we'll be able to resolve some of the conflicts. And I think, with a sufficient degree of maturity, we've been able to show the fact that there are certain things I don't agree with other leaders on, but you work. Democracy enjoins us to say you're not going to get everything you want. But if you're willing to negotiate, if you're willing to engage, and you are sincere about it, and you hear the other side, in a world that is polarizing, isn't it important that we at least figure out a way to hear the other side and model that? I've had differences with Patricia DeLille. That is not, but you have to rise above those. So what is in the interest of the country?
And as we speak about what's in the interest of the country, we just wrapped up last week the 2025 local government Indaba here in Joburg. How much of an impact do you think these types of gatherings yield when it comes to the tangible innovation that's needed and the tangible commitment that's needed for local governance?
With respect, South Africa does not need more Indabas and all sorts of commissions and all of that. They happen post facto. There's only one question on the table that speaks to local government. That white paper on local government and its amending is going to be a very important part, because that white paper on local government indicates how local government ought to be funded. So it does ask the question whether the model of 90-10, which is 90% of the revenue coming from the municipality itself and 10% through infrastructure grants from national, whether that thesis holds. If it doesn't hold, let's transform it. So let's deal with the funding question. But then the second issue is, really, the only time South Africa is going to change is who governs it and governing it differently. If we don't elect new people, you can take the fragmentations of the ANC, because the ANC has had its multiple surrogates and its children, whether it's whatever they are. You can vote for those versions. The truth is, they will deliver the same outcomes because the thinking is the same. We need new thinking, new ideas, a new generation of leaders that delivers different outputs. And so I think we need to stop arguing about some of where we've been and the ground we've traversed. South Africa needs to answer the future question. What's the future of Joburg? Are we just going to... Joburg was built on the back of the discovery of gold. Does that thesis hold that this is the city of gold? Because I would argue it's no longer the city of gold. There's no gold being mined here. This is the city now. Should it be the city of innovation? Should it be the city of the care economy? Should it be the city of tourism? Should it be the city of a new educational culture? Should it be the city of commerce? All of those questions are about what is the new city. So that's the future. We can call it the city of gold and keep thinking we'll discover more gold. It's not going to happen.
All right, so let's wrap up then with the tour that's going to be happening this October. That's already started.
Yeah.
You're very busy talking to us at the SABC, and I'm sure you're going to go to other platforms as well. So then what are you hoping to achieve through this tour as Unite for Change?
Throughout October, if we're able to, the success looks like more people saying, I want to stand. The success looks like more new ideas. The success looks like over these next couple of months, being able to not only finalize the nomination regulations, but introduce new exciting mayoral candidates in cities.
All right, thank you.
I think that's what October looks like for me.
Great. That's going to be a busy one, so you need all the energy that you can gather. But thank you so much for making time for us as Channel Africa this morning,
My
Honorable
great
Member.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Mmusi Maimane is the leader of the Build One South Africa. That's a political party here in the country, as well as member of the National Assembly, talking to us about a new formed coalition. It's called Unite for Change, between three parties. That is the Good Party, Rise Mzansi Party, and Build One South Africa. We'll see how it goes. As you heard from him, the party is still open to taking on more parties who want to join like-minded political parties, as well as civil society groups and organizations that align with the vision for Unite for Change. 8:30 Central African time it is here on Rise and Shine. We say good morning now to Onele Nzinzi. She has our news headlines.